If you ever find a video file named "Do Not Open" (MOV) on an old hard drive, delete it, don't watch it, don't copy it, and whatever you do, don't pause it. Because in 1998, a college student filmed something inside an abandoned office building. Nobody was supposed to see the footage, yet somehow millions of people have, and some claim they never fully came back after watching it. My name is Nathan Brooks. 3 years ago, I worked as a digital archivist restoring damaged VHS tapes and old hard drives. Most contained boring things. Family vacations, birthday parties, security recordings. Then one afternoon a package arrived with no return address. Inside was a damaged hard drive and a handwritten note. The note contained only one sentence: "Watch the last file, tell me if you hear the humming." The drive contained hundreds of corrupted files, all unreadable, except one, "Do Not Open." MOV. The timestamp showed October 14, 1998. The video began inside an abandoned office building. A young man holding a camcorder walked through endless yellow hallways beneath fluorescent lights. At first I assumed it was some kind of student film. Then I noticed something strange. The hallways never repeated. Every turn revealed entirely new corridors. The building looked impossibly large, and throughout the recording, a faint electrical humming echoed in the background. The cameraman eventually spoke. "I've been walking for 6 hours. My stomach tightened. The battery indicator showed only 20 minutes had passed. The man sounded terrified. Then the footage cut forward. The hallway was different. The walls looked older, darker. The humming had become louder, and for the first time, something appeared at the far end of the corridor. A human silhouette standing perfectly still. The cameraman froze. The figure froze too. Neither moved for almost 30 seconds. Then the figure slowly raised its hand. The cameraman whispered, "Number," because the figure looked exactly like him. The footage became increasingly disturbing after that. Every few minutes he encountered another version of himself, some injured, some crying. One appeared decades older, one seemed dead. Then the recording reached its final 4 minutes. The man entered a massive room filled with thousands of office desks. Every desk contained a computer. Every computer displayed the same image, a live camera feed of his own bedroom, his own house, his own life. The feeds showed different dates, different years, different versions of himself. Then one monitor displayed something impossible. It showed a man sitting at a desk watching the exact video I was currently viewing. The man looked directly into the camera, directly at me, and smiled. The recording ended immediately. I sat frozen for several minutes. Then I noticed something. The humming hadn't stopped. It was no longer coming from the video. It was coming from somewhere inside my apartment, behind the wall beside my desk, slow, mechanical, steady, like fluorescent lights buzzing somewhere beyond the drywall. I pressed my ear against the wall and heard a voice whisper, "He's watching you now." The next morning I returned to my office. The hard drive was gone. My co-workers claimed I had never received it. The package wasn't logged. The files didn't exist. Even stranger, the security camera above my desk showed me sitting alone all night, watching nothing. There was no video on the screen, no hard drive, nothing. That was 3 years ago. The humming still happens sometimes, usually after midnight, usually from behind walls, and every time I hear it, I remember something from the final frame of that video. Something I didn't notice until much later. One of the computer screens in that impossible office wasn't showing the cameraman. It wasn't showing me. It was showing whoever would watch the video next, and the face on that screen was yours. After that night, I tried convincing myself the video wasn't real. Sleep deprivation, stress, a corrupted file creating false memories. That explanation lasted exactly 4 days. Then I received the first photograph. It arrived in a plain white envelope with no stamp and no return address. Inside was a single Polaroid. The image showed me sleeping in my apartment. The angle came from the corner of my bedroom. The problem was simple. I lived alone. I turned the photograph over. Written on the back in faded black ink were 4 words: "You missed the door." I barely slept after that. For the next week I checked every lock 3 times before bed. Nothing happened, no more photographs, no strange packages, no humming. Eventually my fear started fading, then came the recording. I woke at 3:17 a.m. to the sound of my television turning on by itself. Static filled the room. Bright white light flickered across the walls. I grabbed the remote. The screen changed instantly, not to a channel, to security footage, black and white footage, my apartment building's hallway. I stared in confusion. The timestamp displayed the current date and time, 3:17 a.m. The camera showed my apartment door. Everything looked normal. Then a figure appeared at the end of the hallway, tall, thin, motionless. The same silhouette from the abandoned office building video. My blood froze. The figure stood perfectly still for nearly 30 seconds. Then it started walking. Slowly toward my door. I rushed to the peephole. The hallway outside was empty. When I looked back at the television, the figure had moved closer. The timestamp remained live. My hands began shaking. I checked the peephole again, still nothing. The television showed the figure stopping directly outside my apartment. Then it leaned forward, looking straight into the hallway camera. Its face became visible for the first time, and I nearly screamed. It was me, not similar, not close, exactly me. Every detail identical. The thing smiled. Then the television went black. The humming immediately returned, louder than ever before. This time I knew exactly where it was coming from, inside the wall behind my bedroom. I don't know why I did it. Maybe curiosity, maybe fear. Maybe something wanted me to. But the next morning I bought a hammer, and that night I broke through the wall. The drywall shattered easily. Behind it wasn't insulation or pipes or electrical wiring. There was another room, a yellow room, the same yellow wallpaper from the video. The same stained carpet, the same fluorescent lights humming overhead. I stood frozen. My apartment should have ended at that wall. Instead, there was a hallway stretching into darkness. Impossible, endless, wrong. I should have called the police. I should have sealed the opening. Instead, I stepped inside. The temperature changed immediately. The air smelled old, dusty, like a building abandoned for decades, yet the lights worked perfectly. I walked for what felt like 20 minutes, then 30, then an hour. The hallway never ended. Every turn revealed more rooms, more corridors, more fluorescent lights, no windows. No exits, no signs of the outside world, only endless yellow walls. Then I found the first desk, an old office desk sitting alone in the middle of a corridor. A photograph rested on top, my photograph, the same Polaroid that had arrived in the mail. Beside it sat another picture, then another, hundreds, thousands, stacks covering the floor. Every photograph showed different people, different years, different decades, all sleeping, all unaware they were being watched. At the center of the room stood an old filing cabinet. One drawer was open. I pulled it wider. Inside were folders, each labeled with a person's name, thousands of names. Then I found mine, Nathanbrooks. The folder contained photographs from my entire life, birthdays, school, college, moments nobody should have witnessed. Someone or something had been watching me forever. Then I heard footsteps, not far away, slow, heavy. Approaching from deeper inside the corridors, I slammed the drawer shut. The footsteps stopped, silence, complete silence. Then a voice echoed through the fluorescent hallways, my own voice. "You're not supposed to see that yet." The footsteps started again, closer this time, much closer. And somewhere ahead in the endless yellow maze, something that sounded exactly like me was coming to find me. The footsteps continued, slow, deliberate, getting closer with every second. I stood frozen beside the filing cabinet while the fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Then the voice spoke again. My voice, perfectly identical. "You should have stopped at the video." The hallway ahead darkened, not gradually, instantly. One section of lights after another shut off in sequence, like something was moving toward me through the darkness. Click, click, click. The darkness advanced. The footsteps grew louder. I ran. Pure instinct took over. I sprinted through endless yellow corridors while the lights continued shutting off behind me. Every corner looked identical. Every hallway seemed endless. Soon I had no idea where I was. no sense of direction, no sense of time. Only the constant humming overhead and the footsteps somewhere behind me. Then I saw a door, the first door I'd encountered since entering. A grey metal office door standing alone in the middle of a corridor. Above it hung a sign, "Archive Room." I rushed inside. The room was enormous. Far larger than should have been possible. Rows upon rows of shelves stretched into darkness. Millions of videotapes, millions of photographs, millions of folders, every human life neatly catalogued, every choice, every mistake, every moment recorded, observed, stored. At the center of the room stood an old television. The screen was already on, showing footage of me, live footage. I watched myself standing inside the archive room, watching the television, watching myself. The image repeated infinitely, screen inside screen, reflection inside reflection. Then movement appeared behind me on the monitor. Someone standing in the doorway. I turned instantly. Nothing, the doorway was empty. I looked back at the television. The figure was closer, standing directly behind me now. I spun around again, still nothing. Then the screen flickered, and the image changed. The television no longer showed me. It showed the young man from the original recording in 1998. The same frightened face, the same camera, the same endless hallways. But this time the footage continued beyond where the original video ended. The man entered a massive chamber, a room so large it disappeared into darkness. Thousands of fluorescent lights hung from the ceiling, and beneath them stood people, thousands of people, all motionless, all staring upward. The camera slowly zoomed in, and I recognized some of them, missing persons, faces from old news reports, children who had vanished decades ago, adults never found. Every one of them standing silently beneath the lights. Then the camera tilted upward, and I finally saw what they were looking at, something impossible. Something my mind still struggles to understand. A gigantic shape suspended above the room, not a creature, not exactly, more like a living network. An endless mass of eyes, faces, memories, human lives connected together into one vast intelligence. Watching, recording, cataloging, the cameraman whispered one final sentence, "It's learning from us." Then the footage ended. The television screen went black and a reflection appeared, not mine, the duplicate, standing directly behind me. I turned slowly, and for the first time, I saw it clearly. My face, my height, my voice, but its eyes were wrong. Behind them was nothing, no emotion, no humanity, only observation. Like a camera pretending to be a person, the duplicate smiled. "You finally understand." I couldn't speak, the thing took one step closer. "There are no monsters here," its voice echoed strangely. "There are only records." The shelves around us trembled. Millions of photographs fluttered from the archives like falling snow. The duplicate looked upward, and "You're almost ready to be filed." Then something happened, a distant alarm, a loud mechanical siren echoing through the endless structure for the first time. The duplicate looked afraid. The lights flickered violently, the walls shook. Somewhere deep within the backrooms, something enormous moved, not the duplicate, not the intelligence. Something older, something even they feared. The duplicate stepped backward, its smile vanished instantly. "You weren't supposed to come this far." The siren grew louder, the shelves collapsed around us. Thousands of videotapes crashed onto the floor. The entire archive began tearing itself apart, and in that chaos, I saw a door, a real door, bright white light pouring through the frame. The duplicate lunged toward me. I ran. The humming became deafening. The floor cracked beneath my feet. The archive collapsed behind me, and just before reaching the doorway, I looked back one final time. The duplicate wasn't chasing me anymore. It was staring upward, terrified, at something descending through the darkness above, something so large it blocked entire sections of fluorescent lights. Then the doorway swallowed me. I woke up on my apartment floor. The hole in the wall was gone. The yellow hallway was gone. Everything looked normal. Police found no evidence of damage, no hidden room, no impossible corridors, nothing. For months I convinced myself it had all been a hallucination until last week, because another package arrived, no return address, no stamp. Inside was a single photograph. The image showed the archive room, the shelves, the television, the endless records, and standing near the center was me looking directly into the camera. On the back, someone had written one sentence, a sentence I haven't stopped thinking about since. We never found the exit. If you are brave enough to hear more nightmares, subscribe to Tales of the Dark, and if you have your own terrifying experience, leave it in the comments or send your story by email. Maybe your nightmare will become the next story told here.